Hello guys, it's me Sir Michael and welcome back to Sir Michael Tutorial at nandito na naman tayo para sa isa na namang video tutorial sa mga lessons ng mathematics. Now, ang pag-uusapan natin for this lesson is the direct variation. So, ano nga ba yung sinasabi nating direct variation? This video is intended for grade 9 students for the second quarter. Let us proceed with the direct variation. When we say direct variation, it states that two quantities increase at the same time or decrease at the same time. So, ibig sabihin, pag sinabi nating direct variation, kapag tumaas yung isang value, tataas din yung kasama niyang value. That is the direct variation. Kung bababa naman yung isang value, bababa rin yung isang value. Now, how are we going to solve a problem that involves direct variation? So, let us first proceed with this example. So in order for us to determine or to solve direct variation, the first thing we need to do is to identify the equation of variation. And the equation of the standard form of the equation of variation is k is equal to y over x or y is equal to k times x. So this one is the standard form of the direct variation equation. Ano po? So tatandaan natin 'yan. This one is para makuha natin yung k. Ang k natin is ito yung tinatawag nating constant of variation. So ang tawag natin sa k ay constant of variation. So ito yung hinahanap natin para makuha natin yung equation of the variation. Ano po? So, ito napaka-importanteng makuha muna natin bago natin masolve yung isang problem that involves direct variation. Now, let us see or let us find the equation of variation of these given tables. Number 1, so we have x which has the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and y is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. As you can see, as x increase, yung y natin nag-i-increase din. So, this one is an example of direct variation. Now, in order for us to determine the equation of variation of this given is we need to determine first the constant of variation. And the constant of variation can be denoted by, nakalagay na po siya dyan, k is equal to y over x. So, ibig sabihin, pagpaparisin lang natin itong mga value dito sa table para makuha natin yung constant of variation. So, anyway, kahit isa lang dyan yung gamitin nyo, okay lang yun. But since kailangan nating ipakita yung constant of variation, kunin natin yung lahat. So, that would be, yung y natin is 2, ang x niya is 1. So, equal link siya sa, ang y natin ay 4 is equal to, or over x equals 6, 3, 8, 4, and 5, 10, 5. Okay, so pag dinivide natin yan, lahat ng makukuha natin dito is pare-parehas lang, which is 2. Now we have the constant of variation, and then we plug in it into our standard equation of the direct variation, which is y equals to kx. Our equation in this given is y equals 2x, and this is what we call the equation of variation. So ayan po yun. Now we have the equation of variation. Let us proceed with the second example. So for the second example, we have here x is 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on up to 14, and then y is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, up to 70. Now, as you can see, as x increase, y also increases. So this is an example of a direct variation. Now, let us determine the equation of variation of this given. So same procedure, we just need to determine the constant of variation, which is denoted by k is equal to y over x. So again, papakita ko lang ulit lahat, pero kapag meron na tayong mga given na problem, pwedeng isa na lang yung gawin ninyo. So we have 10 over 2 equals 20 over 4 equals 30 over 6 equals 40 over 8 and so on up to 470 over 14. And then pag dinivide natin yan, ang makukuha natin ay 5. So this is our constant of variation, and plugging it into the original equation or the standard equation, we have y is equal to 5x. And this is our equation of variation. So, ganyan lang po kumuha ng equation of variation given yung table. Ano po? But what if the given is not in a table form? Anong gagawin natin kapag ang given natin ay hindi naka-table? So, ganito po yung mga example problem na hindi naka-table. Okay, so ganito yung mga example problems na hindi siya naka-table. So, let us say we have the first problem. If y varies directly as x, and if y is equal to 12 when x is equal to 4, find x when y is equal to 36. Okay? So, in order for us to determine the value of x when y is 36, we need first to find or to determine the equation of variation. And in this case, hindi siya naka-table, but still, madali lang din siya makukuha. So, in the problem, y varies directly as x, it can be denoted by y is equal to kx. Okay? So, ito po yung gagamitin natin. Now, so remember yung ginawa natin kanina, kapag kuha natin ng k, we just need to divide y over x. And that means, ang y natin dito, ito yung muna yung gagamitin natin. So, in solving for the constant of variation, yun munang unang given ang ating gagamitin. So, y is equal to 12 when x is equal to 4. So, yan muna yung gagamitin natin in order for us to solve for the constant of variation. So, we have here 12 over 4 and it is equal to 3. So, that means our constant of variation is 3. We can now plug in it into our equation, which is y is equal to 3x, and this is our equation of variation. And ito yung gagamitin natin para makuha natin yung x dito sa pangalawang given. Find x when y is equal to 36. Now, using this equation of variation, y is equal to 3x. So, remember, 36 yung y. So, substitute lang natin. 36 is equal to 3x. And then, solving for x, we divide both sides by 3. So, cancel siya. And then, x is equal to 12. This is the answer. Okay, so, when x is 12, y will become 36. This is our answer to the problem. Next, let us say we have to say another problem. If y varies directly as x and y is equal to 30 when x is equal to 5, find x when y is equal to 12. So, same procedure, we need to determine first the equation of variation, which is denoted by y is equal to kx. Again, hindi palaging y and x yung ginagamit. Minsan, meron ding ibang mga variable. Ano po? But based on the problem, malalaman nyo naman kung ano yung magiging equation of variation. Okay, so first, determining the value of k, which is y over x. So, in this case, gagamitin ulit natin yung unang given na y is equal to 30 when x is equal to 5. So, that means we will have 30 over 5 and our constant of variation is 6. Now, we can plug in it into our equation. We have y is equal to 6x and this is our equation of variation. Now, solving for x when y is 72, gagamitin na natin yung equation of variation. So, we have y is equal to 6x and then y is 72. 72 is equal to 6x. Then, dividing both sides by 6 to solve for x, we have x is equal to 12. And that is our solution for the direct variation. Okay, so next one is the direct square variation. So almost the same lang to sa direct square, sa direct variation, but meron ditong square na ginamit. So direct square variation states that if y varies directly to the square of x, there is a non-zero constant k such that k is equal to y over x squared or y is equal to kx squared. And the graph of direct square variation is quadratic in nature and it follows a quadratic curve. Okay? So, kung mapapansin nyo, ang pagkakaiba lang ng direct square variation sa ating direct variation is yung nasa baba niya, which is naging x squared. Dito rin naging x squared. So, almost the same din yung ating procedure na gagamitin. Yun lang yung pinagkaiba nila, yung may squared. No? Okay, so let us proceed with the problems that involves direct square variation. Now, let us say we have the problem if y varies directly as x, as the square of x, if y is 27 when x is 3, find x when y is 21. Okay? So, the first thing we need to do is to determine the the equation of variation, same procedure na ginamit natin kanina. So in this case, we will have y is equal to kx squared, since we have a square of variation or direct square directly as the square. Kaya magiging x squared. Now, solving for the constant of variation, we have k is equal to y over x squared. And then, by substitution, gagamitin natin yung unang given na if y is 27 when x is 3. Okay? So, substitute, we have 27 over 3 squared. And then, we have 27 over 9, which is 3 squared. The answer is 3. So that means our constant of variation is 3, and our equation of variation will be y is equal to 3x squared. This is our equation of variation. Then we can solve for x when y is 81. So by substitution, we have 81 is equal to 3 times x squared. Then solve for x, divide muna natin siya by 3. And the answer is cancel to. X squared is equal to 81 divided by 3 is 27. And then getting the square root of both sides para makancel yung squared, we have x is equal to the square root of 27. But in this case, pwede nating masimplify yung 27 by simply getting the factor na yung isa is perfect square, and that is 9 times 3. Okay, so we have the square root of 9 is 3 and matitira yung 3 sa loob. So that means our x is 3 square root of 3. That is the value of x when y is 81. Okay, so let's say we have another problem. If p varies directly as the square of q and p is equal to 256 when q is 8, find p when q is equal to 2 square root of 3. Okay, so in this case, we are going to determine first the standard form of the equation of variation, which is, in this case, that is p varies directly as the square of q squared. So, ayan po. Yan yung ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na hindi lang x at y yung ginagamit natin. So, there are a lot of variables na pwedeng gamitin, pero kung mapapansin nyo, anuhin nyo lang, sundan nyo lamang yung given. P, syempre, kung P yung una, then P yung mauuna. P varies directly as the square of Q, so Q yung magiging square natin. So this is the standard form of the equation of variation. Then solving for K, we have P over Q squared. And then by substitution, gagamitin natin yung una nating given, which is P is 256 and Q is 8. So by substitution, we have 256 divided by 8 squared. And that would be 256 divided by 64. Now, in this case, 256 divided by 64 is equal to 4. So, our constant of variation is 4. So, we can now have our equation of variation, which is P is equal to 4Q squared. So, this is our equation of variation. And then, solving for P when Q is 2 square root of 3, we just substitute. So, P is equal to 4 times yung value ng Q, 2 square root of 3 squared. Okay, so P is equal to, ano yung value ng 2 square root of 3 squared? So, ang magiging sagot dyan is, lagay ko lang dito, 2 square root of 3 squared can be equal to 2 squared times square root of 3 squared. So, makakancel tong 3, makakancel yung square root ng 3 and then cancel yung squared. And then, ito naman is 2 squared is equal to 4 times 3 is 12. Now, yun yung ilalagay natin dito. So, that means 4 times 12. And P will be 48. And that is the direct square variation. Thank you.